We've all seen NBA players with weird pre-game rituals, but some players have somehow managed to take it to an entirely new level, such as LeBron James and his infamous chalk toss. I'm sure we've all seen LeBron's infamous chalk toss before starting almost every single game, back when he was with Cleveland. I'm not gonna lie, even though I've seen it a bunch of times now, I still haven't figured out the logic behind it. Now, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about, remember back when LeBron was playing for Cleveland? Bear in mind that this is from before he went to Miami for 4 years. Unless you slept through all the warm-ups before every game and started, you might have seen LeBron rubbing his hands in chalk and throwing it up in the air. To this day, no one has been able to figure out whether that gave him a competitive advantage or not. One thing's for sure though, and that is that the chalk toss was one of the most entertaining shenanigans that LeBron has consistently pulled off for a while now. When he shifted to Miami, he stopped doing the toss for a while. That being said, as soon as he got back to Cleveland, he put up a poll asking his fans whether they wanted him to bring the chalk toss back. I'll give you 3 guesses on what they voted for. And, well, the rest is, as they say, history. Though people still think LeBron should give credit where credit is due. That's because it was Michael Jordan who started the ritual in the first place. Nowadays, a lot of people seem to think that LeBron James is the one who started this whole chalk tossing business. Well, I'm here to tell you that couldn't be farther from the truth. It was the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan, who started this whole thing. Although, y'all will be sad to know that LeBron didn't end up crediting MJ for his pre-game ritual. Then again, maybe they're just different enough to make them unique. See, Jordan had a thing where he would rub chalk in his hands. Then, instead of throwing it up in the air like LeBron used to do, he'd toss it into the broadcasters' faces. This started a whole joke that ran for a long time. Eventually, the broadcasters would start to wear masks to protect their faces from the chalk. The joke didn't stop there, though. It grew bigger, as broadcasters would soon be seen wearing doctors' masks, gas masks, and even carrying umbrellas to protect themselves from MJ's dreaded chalk toss. It's safe to say that Jordan's era was one of the most entertaining eras of basketball to be alive in. Though, there's still the question of who had the better ritual. Was it Jordan or James? While both players have the same rituals, their methods are pretty different from one another. Thanks to that fact, we can sit among ourselves and try to decide which one was more entertaining. Let's review the rituals one more time. In Jordan's version, it wasn't just him who was a part of the ritual. The broadcasting team played a major role in making sure everything went according to plan. The fact that they even started wearing funny face accessories just added to the fun. Like I said before, Jordan's era of basketball was just different, in a good way. Now, LeBron's pregame ritual is a bit more mellow. All he's doing is throwing the chalk up into the air. While that may seem like a safer option, it kinda takes a lot of the fun out of the original ritual. But it seems to be working for LeBron, because the man has achieved an insane amount of success in his career. It's clear that the chalk tossing turns you into a goated player. I might just start doing a small chalk toss before my games too. Still, if you thought that was crazy, wait till you hear about what Shaq cooked up. Because next up, we have his human bowling pins. Now, Shaq is known for a lot of things, but this one might end up taking the cake. See, tossing chalk into the air is one thing, but what Shaq does just takes it to a whole nother level. Shaq used to have his scripted pre-game ritual. He would get 4 to 5 of his teammates to line up like bowling pins. Then, he would proceed to throw an imaginary bowling ball at them. Once that happened, they'd all pretend to fall. The best part is that he even gave the ritual a name. He used to call it Alley Shaq. I'm not gonna lie, the name couldn't be more perfect. Shaq didn't just stop at normal league matches either. He decided to take his alley Shaq and perform it in front of a crowd during the 2009 All-Star Game. He managed to pull the whole thing off with 6 other people. It never ceases to amaze me how he gets wilder and wilder every time I hear about him. Shaq's ritual was so wild that it makes the next one seem normal. Of course, I'm talking about Charles Oakley's ritual with the legendary Spike Lee. Now, Oakley was a big fan of one of the best filmmakers of all time, Spike Lee. Look, if you're a cinema buff, then you've heard of Spike Lee at some point or another. Apparently, before the start of every game, Charles Oakley would go ahead and pass the ball to Lee. Lee would then go ahead and inspect the ball for signs of foul play. Once both of them were satisfied with the game ball, Lee would pass it back to Oakley, and the game would begin. Lee was a big Knicks fan and was present at practically every game they had during this era. I'm not gonna lie, this has to be the coolest ritual on this list. Sometimes, though, athletes like to mix in a mini workout before a game, such as Dwayne Wade and his rim pull-ups. Now, Wade didn't start this ritual. It was Vince Carter who started the whole thing. That being said, Vince's version was a little different. See, he liked to grab the rim and kiss it. That way, he paid respect to his grandma. After Wade adopted the ritual, he decided to take things to a whole new level. He decided to do 3 pull-ups on the rim before every game. According to the man himself, this was to match the number on his jersey. In case you've forgotten, he's had that number since the day he started playing for the Miami Heat. From what I can tell, the ritual seems to work pretty well for Wade too. He's the greatest player in the history of the Miami Heat, and he's one of the most well-respected franchise players in the league's history. I mean, just look at his stats. The pre-game ritual must be doing something for him, because while he was still playing, he used to dominate the game like crazy. The man was unstoppable, and for the 4 years he had LeBron James on his team, he became truly feared. There wasn't a single team in the NBA that could stop James and Wade from conquering the court and winning match after match. Look, all I'm saying is, after seeing how these pre-game rituals, as weird as they are, work out for these players, you might want to think about incorporating one into your arsenal too. That was everything about the pre-game ritual both Michael Jordan and LeBron James shared, plus a bunch of other weird rituals from NBA history. See you in the next video.